I want to get this out of the way first. Most of y'all found me through this video here, my Leviathan review. I want to say I am not a Warhammer channel. I am a tabletop review channel that also talks about the business I'm creating. That being said, let's talk about Warhammer. So if you follow my Twitter, which is now X, weirdly enough, or you just know me, you'll know I have a Space Marine army of Deathwatch. Why? Because I really like Captain Artemis's catchphrase, which I named two of my armies after. There's a lot of other reasons, but mostly because they were kind of broken in 9th edition against aliens, which almost all of my friends play as. But now chapter rules are gone, so oh well. Nowadays they're alright. I've painted a full squad of assault intercessors, a tactical squad. I have started working on veteran squad and finished my watchmaster, which I might redo a bit. But either way, I got an Indomitor kill team now and a Fortis kill team on the way. Now, what is Deathwatch? I need to start with that. The Deathwatch are an Inquisition-aligned chapter of Space Marines after the War of the Beast, which was essentially the largest orc wog, where they had a commander called the Beast, or like 6 of him. Whatever. That's a confusing story. The chapter was formed as a result of this war, where Marines would paint their armor jet black to represent those lost in the war. The Space Marine chapters decided to send some of their oldest or most hated soldiers to the Ordo Xenos to become the Deathwatch, where they'll paint their armor black and go through a retraining program to specifically focus on killing aliens. Now, how the Ordo Xenos retrains is a bit debated. From what I've seen, they could either be brainwashing the Space Marines or just teaching them, hey, this is how you shoot this gun in this way to get through those defenses. The Deathwatch is essentially the Inquisition's attempt to perform border control, though now the Imperium is more open to Xenos assistance, including the Inari Eldar and sometimes the Groot. Sometimes, not often. Tower fucking stupid, and despite being intelligent. But even with wanting to work with some factions, doesn't mean they want them in their house. But whose numbers in these aren't important, as there are really only 2 units in-game that are named. They're the Border Patrol of the Imperium, as they protect the territory of the Imperium space. So, now that you know about who the Deathwatch are, let's talk about them in-game. They have an army rule, which kinda sucks when you look through the army, and a detachment rule, which is kinda cool, but limited. The army rule is first we're talking about, and here it is. Kill teams. Each time an attack targets a kill team unit from your army that consists or contains models with different toughness characteristics, until the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, use the toughness characteristic of the majority of the models in that unit when determining what roll is required for the attack to successfully wound. If 2 or more toughness characteristics are tied for the majority, use the highest value. It goes on, but this is what I want to talk about mostly. This can really shoot you in the foot, and is actually very null. Most kill teams use the same toughness characteristics, and there's a designer's note in here that says that this rule primarily meant to make transport and cover more reasonable. Let's take a look at kill teams in the Deathwatch. We got the Veteran Squad that has the kill team keyword, meaning it applies to this ability. They'll have a toughness of 4, but if we attach the Watchmaster to it, it changes nothing because he has a toughness of 4. Well, what about the Fortis kill team? There's Another thing about kill teams is they're modular. Fortis requires 5 intercessor models minimum, one being a sergeant, but can go up to 10 models with plasma incinerators, heavy bolt pistols, or up to 2 outriders. In this kill team, the outriders will always be outnumbered, which means the outriders will have a toughness of 4 in this situation. What about the Indomitor kill team? I'm building this one right now. Oh, all a single unit. Heavy intercessors, so yeah. What about kill team Cassius? Well, apparently 8 units are classified as veterans, meaning they have a toughness of 4, while 2 more have 4 and 2 have 5. So the entire kill team has a 4 in toughness. Even the models that should have more. This makes them easier to kill because more damage will get through. The toughness thing is a whole chart that really needs to be reworked, because it's difficult to understand unless you dedicated some time to understanding it. But there has to be some team where models get upgraded in toughness, right? Well, there's Proteus kill team, made of a minimum of 5 veterans with 4 toughness, but can be upgraded to 10 of those. 4 with jump packs, 2 bikers, and 4 terminators. You could have a squad of 10 roll up with 5 models with a 4 toughness and 5 models with 5 toughness, meaning everything would get a boost in your kill team, so hey. But that's the only kill team that benefits from this. There's 2 more, but they're all the same units, bikers and infiltrators. So there's a single kill team that benefits from this rule. Most will be hurt by it. So in most cases, it will actively fuck you over. Unless your opponent is dumb and tries to take out the weakest in the unit first. Everyone knows that you take out the healer first, then the biggest threat. But like I said, this army rule was apparently designed to make vehicles and multi-model units better in cover. It essentially allows transport to carry a bunch of different models as a jump pack or terminator or mounted keyword model. They'll count only as 2 instead of, I think it's 6 normally. It also gives the same models the infantry keyword, which allows them to take cover and go over obstacles easier, so that's good. Then there's the detachment rules. The phone app says there's more coming, but I honestly don't believe that, given it took 6 years between Gilliman and L. Johnson's 40k releases. So let's just talk about the Black Spear detachment until the next detachment is brought in 6 years. The Black Spear detachment says you can't use some units with it, one of which I bought and another I was considering. You can't use the assault squads with jetpacks, attack bike squads, devastator squads, the land speeder storm, scout squads, scout sniper squads, or the one I bought, the tactical squad. Good job, me. Should have done more research first. Mission tactics is their detachment rule. It's actually pretty good, but you need to use it sparingly. At the start of your command phase, you can select one mission tactics listed until the end of the start of your next command phase. That mission tactic is active, and its effect applied to all units in your army with this ability. Each mission tactic can only be used once per battle. So let's go over them. Führer tactics. It gives all Adeptus Astartes weapons sustained hit of 1. Essentially gives extra hits for every critical hit roll. Malleus tactics. Gives Astartes weapons lethal hit ability, which allows any critical hit rolls to auto-wound and doesn't need to roll for it. The Purgatus tactics. Gives Astartes weapons the precision ability, which allows you to snipe Kennedy of your opponent's army. Now that's 3 abilities that can only be used once per battle. So be wise in your decision. Don't waste them like a dumbass. And use precision on units that aren't leaders or war masters. Now then there's the Black Spear stratagems, which are actually very good. Armor of Contempt could be used every round to make your enemy's hits not have near as much armor penetration. Adaptive Tactics lets you change the mission tactic of one unit, so not great really. Teleportarium lets you move any unit not in engagement range. Hellfire, Kraken, and Dragonfire rounds gives different bonuses to your unit's guns. So those three are probably the best. Now then there's enhancements. Each enhancement can be given to a character unit like the Watchmaster or Primaris Lieutenant, but only 3 units can have enhancements, and they do increase the cost of that unit's point value for your army. I won't go into details, as I've actually found that they are very rarely used except for in competitive play. Some are great, but some are just too specific to ever use. In all honesty, there's a mixed bag here. I'm almost 4 pages into this script, and I'll give more when I actually play, but my mechanics-driven mind, I'm pretty sure I chose a bad faction to play as. I wanted to play this chapter because of 9th edition chapter rules, but oh well. Live and learn, I suppose. I still like the chapter, as it gives more customization options and capabilities to name my character units and individual units what I want. Now, I'm gonna go to work on Saloon's advertisement. Do me a favor and shove off.